So the BE scorecard. So there are two scorecards. One is for if your turnover is more than 50 million, then you do not, no affidavit is going to help. You need to get a verification agency in if you want to be verified. And then the other one is for companies that are 10 to 50 million turnover, but less than 51% black ownership. So as explained in the slide for QSEs, if you less than 51% ownership, you are non-compliant, so you need to go and get a verification agency to come and give you a score. So the pillars that they cover are ownership. There's 25 points available under that ownership category, and these targets that need to be met. So you need to have a certain number of black ownership to be able to get the 25%, 25 points. QSEs are 25 points as well. Management and control, and that measures the levels of black managers within the organization across the different levels. So you cannot simply have one senior black manager and get all 19 points. It doesn't work like that. It scores you across all of those. And the larger your organization is, the more employees you have, the more time consuming that process takes. And that is where the inclusiveness comes in, because they interview the staff and ask them certain questions that staff sometimes feel uncomfortable answering. For companies bigger than 50 million turnover, there's 19 points. If you're a QSE, there's only 15 points. The next pillar is skills development, and that is skill development is where you do training.
Where?
Training,
yeah.
Where you pay for training for your staff.
Yeah.
Before it was only skills training for your staff that you work, but now you can actually pay for someone in the community. You can do a bursary and you can still get the points. It doesn't have to be only your employees. As long as you are doing some sort of upliftment and spending money on skills development, and that's bursaries, learnerships, internships, and those sorts of things. It must be formal, accredited training, either at a registered university or Technicon or anything like that. So there's targets that you need to reach, and once you reach those targets, you get 20 points or 25 points if you're a QSE. Enterprise and supply development is the biggest one out of it, and basically what the intent behind that is that they want to see how you are procuring your goods and services. So where do you spend your money? Are you buying from big companies, or are you buying from small companies? Because if you're buying from a small company that is black owned, yeah, you get more points. Because they don't, that is the point, they want to open the economy up. They don't want to concentrate money on large corporations. If you need to buy stationery, Walton's was the biggest stationer. If you're going to support Walton's, you're going to get less points than if you go and support the small stationer that has a small little shop. You might not be able to supply you everything, but if you at least spend some of your money. So that is enterprise and supply development, where you're spending money on small suppliers, black suppliers, and then you get those points. Socioeconomic development is the smallest out of all of them, and that is basically your CSI spend, your corporate social investments, charities, money that you give to charities, NGOs and things like that, and there's only 5 points available there. The targets are not that high, and it used to be a bigger component. It's now been reduced to only 5. So you have 109 points available if you're a company that's bigger than 50 million. You've got 100 points if you're a QSE. So you get scored out of that, and based on your score, you will get a level assigned to you. So the BE levels, we're going to go through that now. So if your score is 100 or more, you are level 1. If your score is 95 to 100, you are level 2. All the way down to 40, which is a level 8. And if your score is less than 40 out of all of those 5 pillars, then you are considered non-compliant. Basically, what that means is that when you spend money, if you're a level 1 company, yeah, and someone buys from you, they can account for every 100 rand that they spend with you, it counts as 135 rand for their BEE scorecard. So, if the ShopRite comes and they spend 100,000 rand at your small company and you are a level 1, that 100,000 rand is equal to 135,000 rand for their scorecard. So when their verification agency comes in, they will see that you spent 135, even though they only physically gave 100,000 rand out. But if they go and buy from a large company that is a level 8, if they spend 100,000 rand at that company, they can only claim 10,000 rand because only 10% is counted.
Okay.
And if you spend money at a company that's non-compliant, so as a small business, having your accreditation and your level does help you in approaching larger companies, because larger companies, they need to maintain their level, because they work with other companies and maybe even with government where their level is very important. So it might not be important for your smaller customers, but for your bigger customers and growing your business, having your recognition up there as level 1 or 2 or 3 even does help.
Okay, it's important for company who have big customers who sell own products to bigger customers than
your company doesn't have to be big, but if your clients are big, then it does help. It does help because their clients, that big company, say for argument's sake, you a small, let me think of something. You maybe do. You're a plumber, right? You're a plumber. You do plumbing work. The big construction company, Murray and Roberts, puts in a tender to renovate a hospital, and they do government work. So depending on how they spend their money, they tender.
They support
black economic because you're supporting. So if your level is 1, it does help your bigger companies. So they're going to look for smaller companies with a high BEE rating. So it's there to assist the transformation process within the country without forcing anyone. No one is forced to do this. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But it does help, and there's a serious need within the country to have poverty and income inequalities eliminated or reduced as much as possible. We're never going to eradicate poor and rich people, but to narrow that gap, this is the main aim. Irrespective of the political situation within the country, the BEE legislation is beyond the politics. So those are the different levels. So just a quick introduction about RISE. So we develop business software, accounting software, cloud software. We're an official 1C partner, and we implement and support business management software, payroll, ERP, CRM, CPM software. Our products are RISE Standard Accounting, that's an online application, business management, cloud, as well as standalone, and 1C ERP. And some useful links that you can go to: our company website, and then Standard Accounting website, and then the 1C Development Network.com. Thank you for your time, and I trust you learned a lot about BEE. It's a small part. BEE, like I said, is complex and complicated, and I can speak whole day about BEE on each of the 5 different pillars, because there's sufficient information to go through each pillar and how to reach those targets. So I do want to thank you very much.